All right, today we're going to talk about a reaction called a titration. Titrations are really confusing for people, but honestly, the math is really simple. So first of all, a titration is not a reaction, but it's an analytical process in which we use the knowledge of one chemical to figure out the concentration or sometimes the percent abundance, which is still a type of concentration of another one. The good part is the only time that a titration is useful is at something called the equivalence point. So the equivalence point for this situation is a 3-to-1 ratio. When you reach the equivalence point, there are no excess, there's no limiting. And therefore, if I said we had 3 of these to start off with, we know we need 1 of these to react with it. In other words, 3 moles will equal to 1 mole. If I had 2 of these, well, I need 3 times that amount, and therefore I know I have 6 of these. And if I had an odd, or more of an odd number, if I had 3.2 of these, then again, it's a 1-to-3 ratio, so I would know that I have 9.6 of these. So if you know one, you know the other at the equivalence point, and the only time you get this kind of chemical problem is when you're at the equivalence point. So in this case, they give you a volume of the acid, they give you the molarity of the base, and then they give you the volume of the base. So we don't care about the products in a titration. All we care about is trying to figure out the molarity of the unknown, in this case, the acid. So what we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, this is stoichiometry, so we're going to go to moles of A. And since we know the molarity and volume of the base, which is KOH, we know that's A. Once we get to the moles of the base, we'll go to moles of the acid, which is the H3PO4. And if we have moles of the acid and we have volume of the acid, we can figure out the molarity of the acid. So verbally, that's what we're going to do. So first of all, nothing else, we're going to get moles of whatever we can get. So we have 0.205 molar, oof, that's a scary little M, times 0.0448 liters, because we need moles, molarity times liters equal to moles. And so this will be the moles of the base, the KOH. Okay, so I'll solve for my moles of KOH. And once I have moles of the first thing, what they give us, we're going to go to the question. And the question is, what is the molarity of the acid? So we'll go to moles of the acid. Here we copy in the coefficients. There's 3 here and a 1 here. Moles of phosphoric acid. Just went from moles of one, moles of other using the coefficients. Now I'm just going to answer the question, which is, what is the molarity? And we need 2 things for molarity. We need moles and liters. We already saw for the moles. Then we go up and they give us 25 milliliters for the total solution of just the acid, and we convert that into liters. And we divide it out and we get our answer of 0.122 molar. So this is a process to figure out the concentration of an unknown using a substance in which we know the concentration, and that is a titration.